Subscribe to RA Solutions by clicking on the subscribe button and clicking on the bell icon to receive notifications. Hello there, welcome to another video about RA Solutions. In this one, what I want to do is go through R081, which is the examination unit of the Creative Eye Media course by OCR. And the R081 unit is called Pre-Production Skills. I want to focus on learning outcome 1. Obviously the unit has 4 learning outcomes, but the one I'm going to focus on for this video is learning outcome 1. Just to go through the content of the unit, the unit has or consists of 4 learning outcomes. The first one, learning outcome 1, which we're going to focus on today in today's video, is understand the purpose, uses and content of pre-production. Learning outcome 2, which will be the next video, will be focusing on the being able to plan pre-production documents. Learning outcome 3, which I'm hoping to do in the future, is be able to produce pre-production documents. And learning outcome 4, be able to review pre-production documents. Now the key thing about learning outcome 4, the last question, which is a 12 marker on the examination paper, is a 12-mark question, and that's focusing on learning outcome 4, where you are reviewing pre-production documents. For example, you could be reviewing a mood board, script, storyboard, visualization diagram, or a mind map. 12 easy questions, and I will go through later on how to answer that specific question and get 12 easy marks. But for today's video, what we're going to be doing is focusing on learning outcome 1, which is understand the purpose, uses and content of pre-production. So in terms of learning outcome 1, understanding the purpose, uses and content of pre-production, I've just taken this information from the specification. You need to ensure the learners must be taught the following. They must be taught about mood boards, for example, the ideas and concepts for a new creative media production development, and also obviously mood boards assist in the generation of ideas. They need to understand how to do that and what again the purpose, uses of content of mood boards are. In terms of the next pre-production documents they need to know is mind maps and spider diagrams, one and the same thing. Example to show development routes and options for an idea, or component parts or resources needed for a creative media product. Again, for that specific document they need to know the purpose, use and content of that. Again, moving on, visualization diagrams, then you got storyboards, and you need to understand how to analyze scripts, not create scripts, analyze scripts. The first 4, storyboards, visualization diagrams, mind maps, mood boards, you need to know how to create those. However, for this one, the scripts, you need to know how to analyze that. Let me just go back. You need to know how to analyze that. For example, scripts are used for video production, voiceover, comic book and computer games. So you need to know what for each of those documents, what the purpose is, what the uses are and what the content is, what they include. Very important you know that. Some more information from this specification again for each one. So they need to know the content of mood boards, mind maps, visualization diagrams, and I've gone into specifically what they need to know about each one. Okay, so visualization diagrams, they need to know you can include images, graphics, logos, text, storyboards, so on and so forth, scripts, so on and so forth there as well. Okay, so that information has been taken from the specification. So what I want to do now is focus on each pre-production document and go through in detail about each one. So first and foremost, mood boards. Again, the learner needs to know what the purpose is, what the uses are, what the content is, what a mood board includes. So in terms of purpose, we know the purpose of a mood board is to help generate ideas for a new creative media production development. Okay, it helps you understand or share moods, atmospheres, and the main thing about a mood board is sharing the ideas and concepts using examples and abstracts. In terms of uses, there's different uses for a mood board. You got fashion, interior design and architecture are the 3 main ones. You need to also know, in terms of a mood board, there's 2 different types of mood board. There's a physical mood board and there's also a digital mood board. With the digital mood board, you can have sound on there, you can have animation, you can have video clips. Obviously, you can't have that on a physical mood board. In terms of content, what's included on a mood board, obviously you might get an exam question about asking what 3 things are included on the mood board. So as long as you put something along the lines of images, colors, text, font styles, keywords, textures, fabrics, and other materials, things like that. Digital mood board, obviously you can include sound and video clips. Now obviously that depends on the question. Now if the question's asking for a digital mood board or speaking about, in the scenario, a digital mood board, then obviously you use your answer based on what the question is, and obviously annotations and labels. And here on the right side is an example of a mood board there. Now this is an example question from one of the papers. The scenario was about kids 5 a day, and one of the questions, here's the question itself, and what the candidates had to do was create a mood board based on the information given about kids 5 a day. So obviously kids 5 a day is a scenario about healthy eating, and basically to draw the mood board in the exam, you need to have obviously a title when you're creating a mood board. So you will get a question about creating one of the pre-production documents. If it's a mood board, you need to have a title, you need to include images, suitable images, make sure there are appropriate images you have or include in your mood board. Obviously spread those images out neatly, obviously filling any white space up. Make sure you label the images to justify exactly why they have been chosen to suit the brief, relate it back to the scenario in the question, and the extras there, add suitable finishing touches such as text, keywords, color. Why did you choose the color that you have chosen? Why did you choose the font that you have chosen? Why did you choose the textures, the sound or audio that you have chosen, and relate it back to the scenario. Now obviously for extra marks, you need to ensure your mood board is readable. Obviously it's neat and tidy, and here's an example from an examination question. So they've got the justification of the images, image 5, justification of the fonts, why they've used the fonts, so on and so forth, and it relates back, their justification relates back to the scenario. So that's an example based on an examination question there. Moving on, the next pre-production document is a storyboard. Again, for a storyboard, the candidates need to know the purpose, use and content, what can be included on a storyboard. Now in terms of a purpose of a storyboard, obviously one of the purposes is to show production staff the intended outline of the project, to work through a story idea in a visual way, and to plan and outline a production. A few of the uses of a storyboard, obviously storyboards are used heavily in film and television, in theatre, in animation and video, in computer games creation there as well. In terms of what's included on a storyboard, you might get an examination question, the learners might get an examination question on this. Scene sketches, timings, duration of each scene in your storyboard, camera shots, whether it's close up, mid, long, camera angles, camera movements, pan, tilt, and I've given examples there, and the lighting, what kind of lighting is there, what kind of sound is being played, and the locations, where is that scene taking place. And here's a bit of an example of a storyboard there. So in terms of an example question on a storyboard based on a previous examination paper, again the learners might get a question on how to create a storyboard in the examination. Now some key things you need to take note of: add suitable sketches to suit the storyline in the exam question for each box or the scene. A rough stick figure is absolutely fine, or a sketch in the sketch is fine. The second thing you need to be aware of, to let the students know, add descriptions to explain what is happening beneath it. So here on the example on the right, they've got the sketch, but you've got the little caption description of what's happening in that scene or in the storyboard. The third thing they need to make a note of is add a timing duration into each scene. How long is this scene going to go on for? So this first one here is 2 seconds, the second one 4 seconds, so on and so forth. The next thing they need to add in their storyboards is add a few camera angle shots to the scenes, for example close-up, medium shot, two-shot, wide angle. So here not only do they have the camera shots here, wide angle, the first scene is going to be a wide angle, the second scene is going to be a wide angle, the third scene is going to be a close-up, so on and so forth. Add some sound effects and music so you know what's happening in the scene. So obviously one of the examples may have, if you look, so here you go, play sound effects as bike hits the as the bike hits, and add some speech in the speech bubble there as well, and also add location to one of the scenes. So you need to ensure so the person who's viewing this, or client who's viewing this, knows where this scene is taking place in the storyboard. So here you can see there in the location, that's inside the shop, that's where it's going to be taking place there. So that's an example storyboard. You could be asked a question in the exam on how on creating a storyboard there. The next one, the next pre-production document the students need to know about, or the candidates need to know about, is mind maps, or another word for it is a spider diagram. Again, they need to know the purpose, the uses and the content of that document. So again, in terms of the purpose, obviously the purpose of a mind map is to show the development routes. The purpose is to link or connect aspects of ideas and allows the extension of an idea or provide options for an idea. Okay, so in terms of uses, it will help in terms of people use a mind map for their workflow diagram, and it shows the resources needed for a creative media product. So here's an example, bottom right hand corner. This one is about health, and you can see from the branches or the nodes all the different subtopics there. So in terms of what's included in terms of the content of a mind map, you have a central idea in the middle. In this one, this is about health. Then you have your branches, then you have your keywords. You've also got different colors for the different subtopics or the subgroups in your mind map. You have icons, you can have symbols, you can also speak about different topics within that central idea, and that will help the client produce whatever production they are doing. So this is mind map. So you need to know about purpose, uses and content there. Here's an example question for mind maps. Okay, this one is about the 5 a day. This mind map here was about the 5 a day, kids 5 a day scenario from obviously the previous scenario I showed you. So obviously you can see the branches in there, you can see information on the different types of text that they're going to be used in this mind map. So basically the aim is, with the mind map, you have a central aim or the central node, which is the main theme, and you have the nodes coming off it with the branches denoting the different aspects of the central theme. So how things are related. And here's an example here about a film poster I've just added there. So you got your film poster, you have different fonts on the film posters, you have your colors on the film poster, you have text, release date, title, age rating, and you can see how everything is branched out from that central theme, which is a film poster there. So they might get an exam question on creating a mind map for a specific scenario in the exam. The next pre-production document is a visualization diagram. Again, they need to know the purpose, uses and content of a visualization diagram. Again, the purpose of a visualization diagram is it's just a mock version or a draft version or model of the intended product. What the product is going to look like is a draft version just to show the client. That's the purpose of a visualization diagram. In terms of the uses of a visualization diagram, obviously there's still images and graphics. Obviously they can be used in posters, CD, DVD covers, leaflets, flyers, and also you can create a visualization diagram before you go on and create a website. In terms of what's included, in terms of the content of a visualization diagram, again, key things here: images, graphics, logos, text, color and different dimensions, sizes. Now they could be asked a question about what is the purpose or are the purposes of a visualization diagram and what's included in a visualization diagram. So the candidate needs to know exactly what information to add in there. In terms of the exam question for visualization diagrams, they could possibly be asked to create a visualization diagram in the examination. You need to, or the students need to create the diagram of the layout. So in here, obviously their task in terms of the production would be to create a website, but here is a visualization diagram of how their website would look like for the scenario, again, kids 5 a day. So the first thing they need is a title, label the text color, size and font, why have they chosen what they've chosen, images, draw boxes where some images will go. You don't need to actually draw the image itself, as long as you justify the reasons why you have chosen the images you have chosen. In terms of the text, again, you add text, label the sizes, color and fonts. Again, in terms of the labels, label the background color and say why you have chosen the color you have chosen. In terms of any extras you may have, add any extras such as videos, sound, buttons, logos, any ratings that you may have. Again, crucial bit here is you make it tidy, you make it readable, so the whoever's marking, the assessor who's ever marking it understands what you have put, and also make sure any blank spaces or any white spaces are covered as well. So obviously in terms of layout, the layout and design is very, very important. So here's an example visualization diagram for kids 5 a day. So website, and obviously they've given a rationale behind each bit as well, why they have chosen the text, the video, images, so on and so forth. The next one, the last pre-production document is a script. In the exam, they're not going to be asked to create a script. However, they could possibly be asked to analyze an existing script based on a scenario. So again, they need to know the purpose, uses and content of a script. Purpose again is a traditional style and standard rules and presentation, instructions for the crew and the performers of people who are performing. So it tells them the dialogues, what they need to say, when they need to say what they need to say. In terms of the uses of scripts, again, hugely important to know this. In terms of uses, TV and film, theatre, drama and plays, voiceovers, comics and computer games. Okay, so in terms of content, what's included in the script? Again, set, location, direction, what happens in the scene, sounds, dialogue and conversations crucial, and the mood, emotion that's going off within the dialogue which is happening. Here's an example question about analyzing scripts. Again, you got a script there on the left side. So you analyze that, you annotate, so that's the location, direction of the characters, dialogue, what the characters are saying, and on the right side you talk about the camera movement, location, camera, what's happening with the shots, what type of shots are they aerial, mid, long range shots there as well. So that was a quick video showing you in terms of R081 pre-production skills, going through and analyzing R081 and analyzing the L01 for R081, which is, let me just go through it again, understanding the purpose, uses and content of pre-production. I hope this video has helped. Please like, subscribe and share.